This is going to be an old video. It's basically Cold Chamber at Ozzfest, like from years ago. I was told that maybe the first Ozzfest was like 96. The Ozzfest I went to, I think, was in 2009, 2000, somewhere around there, 2010, 2009, 2010. Yeah, that was quite a while ago. But 96, holy shit. I'm not really sure which year was the first one. Yeah, y'all let me know. I think they even had Ron Jeremy come out and introduce him because I see the plumber man right there on the screen. It's been a long day. All right. So if you like this type of content, please like, comment, subscribe. Anybody here, if you want to follow, that'd be awesome. My YouTube channel, Dethfender. Let's just get to it. This is Loco.
Hey, folks! How's it going here, huh? My name is Ron Jeremy. This is kind of exciting. We're the first folks up at the Devore Ozzfest. And you know, when you're number one, when you're first up, there's no place else you can go. That's the best you could be, huh?
Holy shit. So, yeah, you think about what Ozzfest turned into over the years compared to this. This looks like they have like a rider truck in the back or U-Haul and shit. And it looks like a makeshift stage. Like they just picked a field and they're like, hey, we're going to put together a music festival. And then we're going to have Ron Jeremy and a bunch of other porn stars come out. Or models or whatever. Tell people to come up. There's not a lot of people there. It must be early in the day. My friend loves Cold Chamber. Used to listen to their albums all the time. I never really was a fan. I was like, yeah, it's all right. But then I heard an album one time when I was over at their house. And I was like, who the hell is that? That sounds really good. And they're like, you don't know who it is? Cold Chamber. And I was like, no, can't be. But yeah, it was. Anyway, so yeah, that was my little story of that.
Folks, put your hands together for the hottest band this side of the Mississippi. Cold Chamber!
Also, they tuned down to, I think they tuned down to Drop C. They were like one of those bands from the new metal age that they're one of the bands that started dropping their tuning down further and further. And that bass has a really crunchy sound that drums on the other hand. I always thought their drummer was a little kind of sloppy-ish. It was like they didn't practice in the early days. Well, let's see what happens. I know they got a lot of energy. Especially they're really young. You can see how young they are. Boom, boom, ba-da-doom, boom. Doing like 16th notes on the hat. It sounds good though. As far as the guitar and bass, it's got a really full sound for just having the guitar and bass. But that drum part, nah, I won't even say that. I'm not gonna be mean. It fits. Oh, he's got one of those drop tuner things for his tuning peg. I mean, that beat fits. You hear the wah pedal on the guitar. That it's like he's moving really slow up and down. And the lead vocalist almost has like it's not really rap, I wouldn't say, but it has a quality to it. It's more like somebody that's talking really fast. Not really rap, but you know, and kind of growling in between that. Like I said, garage band like ish, kind of grungy, right? Can't think of the right word for the vocalist, but I do like the sound of the guitar and the bass. The bassist has the best tone out of the band, but after they do that part where it's like go, then it's like that dun 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 dun. It's got a good groove to it. I wanted to go back a little bit, then build up. One last time on the build up. Oh boom. Right there. It's definitely got like a mosh pit vibe. And it's not really a difficult riff. Right there, wah pedal. Oh yeah. Okay, when he's doing the one part on the guitar, he's got the wah pedal, so it's got more of a bassy EQ. So he's bringing it back to get more of a bassy sound, and then bringing it forward to get more of that high end when he's doing the high end part. And then when he's doing a crunchier part, he's bringing it back. It gives it more movement. When right here, he's moving back like. And then he turns it off. Because right there is just raw guitar sound. That part where he's like, Loco. So he turned the wah right off. It sounds like he doesn't really have a lot of effects. It's a really raw sound. It sounds good, but it's a bare bones guitar tone. Even right here, there's no wah right here. But right when the vocals start, that's when the wah kicks in on the guitar. Right here. He gives it like an overtone, then he turns it off. I think he's using the Mesa Boogie. I think he's using the Mesa Boogie, if I'm not mistaken. In the 90s, a lot of metal bands are using Mesa Boogies or PVs. PVs and Mesa Boogies, but there was a time where everybody was using that fucking Mesa Boogie. And I think this amp is. Sounds fucking massive. And same with the bass. I'm gonna bring it back down. Going back to the main riff. 16th on the hat. Back to the wah part. I'll give the band credit. I mean, it's not a difficult song, but they're not playing it sloppy here. All the parts, it's not parts where when he switches to the wah, he's not off, where he's like playing and then he's like, oops, gotta switch to the wah part. He's right on it. Also, that like pregnant pause that they have there where they're all waiting to go to the next part. Nobody jumps. Nobody does it faster than anybody else. They're right on time. That's something that takes practice. Everybody's got to count. If you're not counting and you're trying to pull something off where it has a long pause like that, then somebody's going to go faster and somebody else can be slower than everybody else, and it's going to sound like shit. Right here. Right after this part. See, everybody's got to be counting. I think he's using the guitar to tune that as almost like a metronome. That bass sounds really good. Also, I like that pause too. That dun 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 gives a little bit more drive right there with the drums and the bass. The bass is syncopated really good with the drummer. Right there where they're doing that. Bum, 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 bum. Kind of forgot about this part. Sounds like he's like using a mixture of maybe a flange with his wah pedal on the guitarist to have that movement. It's not a chorus pedal. I know there's a wah in there, but you can hear like that type of sound with the distortion. Sometimes with distortion, some of those effects pedals, they all sound similar depending on the setting, like flanger, phaser, and chorus, depending on how you set them up. They all sound very similar. They have similar functions in what they do. Flange has more movement. It's more like if you're not playing anything on guitar and you just let it go, almost like wind. So when you're playing a note, that's kind of what it does with the note. See right here. Yeah, I think that's a flange. And then they're going back to the very beginning. I like that eerie sound. I think I'm trying to decide if that's a flanger or if it's a phaser, because this part right here, that see, in the 90s there was a lot of people using experimental gear. Like, I have a lot of old guitar magazines, and you like open them up and you're like, this is from like the late 90s, and there's tons of commercials for like these old pedals, like Digitech was huge in the 90s. Early 90s, I think there was a pedal, it was a Zoom pedal. So a lot of guitarists were experimenting with all these different pedals, like Korn. Korn's a band that experimented with a ton of different, like flanger, chorus, delay, a lot of reverb, and sometimes they'd mix them all together, come up with these weird sounds. This band has some songs that are like that. If you look at the 90s, there's a bunch more. I can't think of them all. I didn't listen to them until later. A lot of them were already not even around. But they all had similar vibes in some ways, especially the way they looked. Like, if you had a lineup with some of those bands from like the nu metal era, the beginning, in between like hair metal, grunge, nu metal, a lot of those bands had a similar look. Marilyn Manson didn't sound like these guys, but had a similar look to them. But yeah, there was a lot of experimentation with even bass players are using pedals to the point where it was getting pretty ridiculous, I heard. Also, that part where they're doing with the toms, that and the vocalist has got like distortion on his mic. It sounds like a CB almost. Let's see if we can get to that part. We'll go back a little bit more. Just want to hear it out. This has got a good drive to it. It's definitely a mosh song. It's really raw. See that? You hear the effects on his guitar. And the drummer and the bass player, when the drummer's playing the tom parts, that the bass player's syncopating all the notes, so it's like boom, 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 boom. Hear the bass, boom, 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 boom. Then we're back to the intro. There's also like a phaser or flange on that guitar right there. You get that sound. I'm going to say right now, the performance is pretty good. I would say the bass player that holds the whole groove together and that riff, especially that dun 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 dun, the guitar sound is really good. The drummer isn't bad, right, for what he's doing, but it does have like a very like a driving beat, like it's something people could mosh to. Obviously, the chorus is simple. The guitar parts are pretty simple, but it sounds good. It's like something that just is in your face. It's raw. It's not pretty sounding, but it's good, right? See what I mean? The bass player is really holding it together. And the singer's manic. It just sounds manic. Like, really.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be like their official video for the time on a VCR tape or some shit from back in the day. It really had that type of vibe to it when Ron Jeremy comes out and he's like, "Hey, I want to introduce this band. Hey, come on up, blah, 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 blah. You know, hey, have you ever watched any of my videos before, my movies?" It was interesting. The performance was pretty good for it's a simple song. It had some really driving parts to it. Some little bit of syncopation with the bass. And that's kind of what new metal was. It had rapish vibes and metal mixed along with a few other aspects. You know, kind of like punk in a way, the attitude of not giving a fuck about anything, but the whole message of being, you know, crazy, loco. The singer has a manic way on stage about him where he's just like, you know, he's flying around like, like if he was in a straitjacket or some shit. Um, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I'm glad that you requested that. Anyway, if you have any more requests for me, please just let me know down there. You know, comment, subscribe, give me a like. Anyway, follow, subscribe. That'd be awesome. And I'm Dethfender. I'll see y'all later.